great. Hi, this is National Review Online. We're joined by Christine O'Donnell, a GOP U.S. Senate candidate in Delaware. Christine is running against Mike Castle, the longtime congressman and former governor. Christine, welcome to National Review. Why are you running for Senate again? You ran in 2008 against Joe Biden, and why can you beat Mike Castle?
Well, I'm running because I'm concerned about the direction of our country. You know, the America that we knew and grew up with is being threatened. I've said often that we teeter on not only the brink of bankruptcy, but becoming a socialist country. That's not the vision that our founding fathers had when they sacrificed everything to create America. So this is a race where it's really about principles, and it's really about the heart and soul of our country, the heart and soul of our party. The reason why I believe that we can beat Mike Castle is because one of the things we've seen in the political trends this past year is an uprising of everyday Americans championing the Constitution, championing the principles on which our country was founded, and they're frustrated with career politicians. They're frustrated with big government, and they're concerned also about the direction of the country, and they're getting behind citizen politicians. The citizen activists are getting behind the citizen politicians. So because of that, I'm very hopeful that we can win. Now, my campaign manager always says it's not political feel, it's political science, and what I just talked about was the feel.
Sure.
But I also believe that we can win because the political science is behind this race. You know, you hear often that conservative constitutionalist candidates like myself can't win the general election. Well, Rasmussen recently released a poll that had me ahead of a Democratic opponent in the general election. So that debunks that myth. So the focus is on the primary. Mike Castle is a liberal Republican. He's not a moderate Republican. You look at his voting record. He is to the left of Delaware's Democrat senator. He is a liberal. That's not the political profile that is winning, that is trending towards victory this season, because voters are frustrated with career politicians like Mike Castle, who have an obnoxious sense of entitlement, that they deserve this, not because of their voting record. And they're getting behind races like mine. You see that all across the country with Rand Paul, Sharon Angle. And getting back to the political science, the fact that I'm ahead in the general election and our campaign has just about broken the $250,000 mark in terms of what we raised. Both of my opponents in the primary, Mike Castle, and Chris Coons in the general election, are personally multimillionaires whose campaigns have big machines behind them that have raised millions, and yet we're still ahead in the general. You know, that's because of the people of Delaware and the people across the country who are frustrated with the career politicians who have run this country into the ground, and they're sending a message. So if you look at the trends that are favoring in my direction, if we continue to hit the benchmarks we need and we continue to raise the money that we need to get out the vote, to get our message to the right voters, then I believe victory is within reach.
You mentioned Sharon Angle and Rand Paul, and there's also Marco Rubio. A lot of conservative insurgents have done well this year. How do you identify with them and what's happening with the Tea Party movement across the country?
Well, the Tea Party epitomizes what I just talked about, a movement of everyday citizens rising up because they're frustrated with what's going on, and they're realizing that sitting on the sidelines is no longer enough. And they're getting behind candidates who the candidates who have earned their trust and earned their support to champion the constitutional principles and truly represent them in Washington, D.C. And I think that that's what we saw with Rand Paul, Marco Rubio, and Sharon Angle, is the strength of we the people. And that's what's driving my race as well. That's what's pushing us ahead in the polls without a multi-million-dollar machine. Now, don't get me wrong, anyone watching this, we need money. We need money, Christine2010.com. But at the same time, we don't need millions of dollars to reach the voters. So I think that what you see is an outcry of people who are tired of being suffocated by overbearing taxes, who are tired of politicians who look at the Constitution as a mere set of suggestions that, maybe this should govern our policy, as opposed to a litmus test. And they're demanding that our elected officials no longer look at the constitutional principles as indispensable. And that's why I'm very hopeful this year.
Great. This is Christine O'Donnell, U.S. Senate candidate in the GOP primary on September 14th in Delaware, the first state. And thanks for joining us here on NRO.
Thank you. Thank you very much.